Now then, 2 years ago, model and reality star CHRISTINE MCGUINNESS took part in a documentary about her 3 children who are autistic, sharing the impact it's had on their lives and what it means for their future.
Since then, CHRISTINE has received her own autism diagnosis, which has changed her life for the better. Tonight, for a special BBC programme, she explores why it's so much harder to recognise in women compared to men.
As a teenager, I was completely obsessed with Dirty Dancing. It's the only film I've ever watched. I've never watched anything else. Again, I'd watch it over and over and over on repeat.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
But I think one of the problems is we still all carry this bias that when you see a boy who's struggling socially, you think, could it be autism? But when you see a girl who's struggling socially, you think she's shy or it's social anxiety or something. And you don't think autism as the first thought. And we still hear women who go to their GP and are told, oh, you can't be autistic because you're married or because you're making eye contact or something.
Yeah.
So the myths are still out there.
Yeah, it's interesting on so many levels. CHRISTINE, it's lovely to see you on Morning Live. Thanks for coming in.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
I've got a little nephew who's autistic, so from a personal point of view, it's fantastic to see a programme like this raising the awareness of autism. Why did you want to make this documentary in the first place?
The main reason really was for a better understanding, more so around women and girls, because the statistics show that there is a big, huge difference in women getting diagnosed a lot later on in life. Quite typically, most autistic boys tend to get diagnosed a lot younger, therefore they're getting help and support and they're being more understood earlier on, which is key, you know, for anyone that needs help and support. Women mask, which is hiding the symptoms, copying of others, trying to fit in, those sorts of things. Women tend to do that a lot more, which means that they're probably not going to get noticed until later on in life, which is what's happened with me.
Yeah, because you were 31 when you got diagnosed, weren't you? How did that diagnosis start then?
Well, I've got 3 autistic children and I just, obviously, doing research, I was thinking there must be some kind of genetic link here, like how have I got 3 completely individual, amazing, gorgeous, fabulous children, but they were all autistic, like how's this happened? And there was a lot that I've got in common with the children, which I always just thought, well, it's because they're my kids, so obviously we're going to have stuff quite similar, but yeah, a lot of the things were signs and symptoms of being autistic, so I went and done an ADOS assessment, and got my diagnosis, and yeah, everything's been better since, to be honest. It's been a massive eye-opener. It's helped me loads. And now I'm here doing a documentary about it, which is amazing. And
in the documentary, you meet some women in the same situation as you. It's a really fascinating part of the documentary, actually. And there's one lady that says, I think, imagine not showing up for your own life.
Yeah. And
you say that had a real profound effect on you.
Yeah, and it still does. I think about it all the time. Whenever I've got any kind of self-doubt, it's unfortunately quite common for autistic women and girls especially to have a low self-worth and a really high self-doubt. Like, and when she said that, it really hit me, like, imagine not showing up for my own life, imagine not making the most of every day and every opportunity. And I'm so glad I've done it. I'm so pleased with it. And one of the other important reasons I've done the documentary was to give other women a platform to share their story as well, because, you know, there's hundreds of thousands of autistic women, men, boys, girls all over the country that have got a different story to tell. So, yeah, it's been amazing.
So what about those other women then who might be having similar feelings to what you've just talked about or feel like they want to go and get diagnosed? What advice have you got for them?
I'd say talk about it, speak to your friends and family, and if you're not comfortable doing that, maybe write it down. Talk to your GP if you want to keep it completely private. But I'd say definitely explore, definitely go and have a look at getting a diagnosis if it's something that you're thinking about, because the clarity you get from having that answer of being told that you are actually autistic, for me, it's made me feel so less apologetic about myself, the way I am, the way I think, the things I do. And in the past, I used to feel like such a nuisance, and I still do sometimes, but now I kind of understand why I am the way I am, and I'm kind of like, OK, it's because
Is that helping? How are the kids, first and foremost? And has the diagnosis for you kind of helped your family life?
Yeah, I mean, my parenting hasn't changed. I've always been really patient with the children, and I love the way they are, and I think everyone just grows and develops in their own time anyway. I'm still learning to socialise and eat in restaurants at 34, like, you know, so it's just, everyone's completely different. So I embrace that we are all completely unique. But the best part about me getting my diagnosis is when I sat and told them you know, that they were autistic, I was like, Mummy's autistic too. Like, we've got our own little gang. I love them.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's wonderful. It brings up raises so many important issues. It's called Christine McGuinness, Unmasking My Autism. It's available on iPlayer right now, isn't it? But you can see it tonight at 9 p.m. There you go. If you scroll through, you can find it there on our website. At 9 o'clock, BBC One tonight. And if you want more help and advice on anything we've discussed, you can head to our website for that as well.
Yes, but first, 2 years ago, Christine and Paddy McGuinness took us on a journey into what life was like raising children with autism in a very intimate BBC One documentary.
Now, Christine is focusing on her own diagnosis in her 30s, and that's not just unique to her. The documentary highlights how the condition is often diagnosed much earlier in boys than it is in girls.
I'm Christine McGuinness. A year ago, at the age of 33, I discovered something about myself that has changed my life forever. I found out that I am autistic. The best thing from getting diagnosed is that I understand myself more. I grew up in Liverpool, and my autistic traits were misunderstood as just being naughty when I was at school, and I ended up dropping out at the age of 14 with no qualifications. The thought of going into school every day was just horrific. When I had physical outbursts, that was when I just couldn't control it. I remember throwing chairs in the classroom. I remember pushing tables over. I've never met somebody diagnosed with autism in their 30s like I was. So I've come to Sheffield to meet Melissa.
Hi! You do hugs or?
Yes. It's been 10 years since she was diagnosed.
My son at the time was 4 and he was acting up in nursery and they diagnosed him with autism. I then started to think perhaps my daughter was autistic as well, because until then I only thought boys could be autistic. So I started to learn about her and what her struggles were. And I also started to see it in myself. I was 35 when I received my diagnosis.
Me and my 3 children were all autistic. Trying to get the right balance for me is something that I am nowhere near figuring out.
I think the longer you have the diagnosis, the more you will learn about what does and doesn't work for you.
We are trying to fit into a world that just isn't made for us.
When I started to be more authentic, things started to work better for me in all aspects of my life.
I want to understand why autism has traditionally been perceived as a male condition and why so many women have spent their lives undiagnosed.
I'm 24. I struggled with my mental health from when I was about 13.
Leanne's autism has been misdiagnosed and misunderstood.
I sort of presented with lots of anxiety, and I called them like little explosions.
What was your first diagnosis when you were a teenager?
I think at one point bipolar, and I was treated, tried different therapies, medications, none of which were really effective. I got diagnosed with a personality disorder, and from day dot I argued that, and I was like, I don't feel like that's me.
Yeah, it's scary to think how many girls and women there are out there struggling, being labelled with other things. According to research, autistic women are 4 times more likely to be misdiagnosed than men.
I think one of the problems is we still all carry this bias that when you see a boy who's struggling socially, you think, could it be autism? But when you see a girl who's struggling socially, you think she's shy or it's social anxiety or something. And you don't think autism as the first thought. And we still hear women who go to their GP and are told, oh, you can't be autistic because you're married or because you're making eye contact or something. Yeah. So the myths are still out there.
Now, there are over 700 schools in the UK specialising in autism, but only one dedicated solely to educating autistic girls.
Scarlett. It's so hard when you're like surrounded so much people because you don't want to say no.
Did any of you go to a different school before you came here? And how was that?
For me personally, I just felt like nobody understood me properly, or everyone thought I was weird.
But you don't feel like that here?
No. Because we're all autistic, and I just find it really nice when I can talk to somebody about it. I used to feel like I'm alone, but I'm not anymore.
I've come back to see Melissa.
Hello! Hi! Again.
She's going to introduce me to a group of mums who all have autistic children and are autistic themselves.
If we go out, like some of us are more panicky than others, and we'd be like, oh, I'll come with you if you want to go to the bar. So we were supporting each other.
You know, I'd rather be on earth fully me. Someone said, what if you never turn up for your own life?
I'm going to think about that line for days. I'm excited for life now. I want to live as much as possible. I'm not scared anymore.
Well, one viewer says, Christine talking about her autism helped me seek a diagnosis of my own. It helped me realise a lot of my behaviours that I had dismissed were autism.
It's just fantastic to raise awareness on the subject, isn't it? And you can hear more from Christine in her documentary, Christine McGuinness, Unmasking My Autism, on Wednesday, 9 o'clock on BBC One and iPlayer.
Right, time